A typhoon. Known as Typhoon Jebi, this was one of the costliest and the deadliest ever in the history of Japan. It happened in 2018, and the strong winds, rain, and landfalls left about 300 people injured. People thought they'd be safe in their houses. The typhoon, however, was too strong for the buildings and vehicles. Heavy damage was faced by the country when its three main cities came under the influence of nature's wrath. Turkey earthquake. On February 6, 2023, at 4:17 in the morning, a 7.8 magnitude earthquake hit southeast Turkey and Syria. The video shows the aftermath of the disaster with buildings collapsed. Debris scattered everywhere and people struggling to come to terms with what has happened. The earthquake hit in the early hours of the morning when most people were still asleep, leaving them vulnerable and unprepared. The impact of the quake was disastrous, with many fatalities, injuries, and damage to infrastructure. Marshalltown tornado. Marshalltown, Iowa, with a population of just over 27,000, is located in Tornado Alley, making it susceptible to powerful storms. In April 1961, an F3 tornado caused significant damage, and almost 60 years later, another EF3 storm ripped through downtown, which was recorded by a brave cameraman. The storm was part of a two-day tornado outbreak that saw 31 confirmed tornadoes touching down over 33 hours across several towns, causing $320 million in damages. The Marshalltown storm caused an 8-mile path of destruction, damaging historic buildings and businesses, and fortunately no one lost their life. A tornado in Kansas. Andover, Kansas is a small town known for its quiet and peaceful community. However, on April 29, 2022, the town experienced a devastating EF3 tornado that caused widespread destruction. The extreme drone footage showcases the raw power of the tornado as it tears through the town. And we can see the erratic vortex behavior of the tornado with debris flying in every direction and buildings being ripped apart. Fortunately, no lives were lost as a result of the tornado due to warnings given by the authorities at the right time. But the damage was immense, with nearly 1,000 structures impacted. Japan tsunami. Back in 2011, Japan was hit by a massive 9.0 earthquake that caused a massive tsunami with waves as high as 100 feet. The devastation caused by the triple disaster was huge. Over 138,000 buildings were destroyed, and the economic loss totaled $360 billion. It was the costliest disaster in history. Despite the severity of the disaster, the Japanese response was quick, efficient, and helped to save many lives. A staggering 465,000 people were successfully evacuated from the affected areas. A sandstorm. Sandstorms can be extremely dangerous and should always be taken seriously. Just like tornadoes, hurricanes, and cyclones, they can cause significant damage to both property and human life. In the following clip, we can see a man from Saudi Arabia recording a massive sandstorm that's quickly approaching him. However, the man and his companions did not seek shelter until the storm was upon them, and they were completely engulfed in darkness. Luckily, the man did make it out okay, without getting injured or anything. Landslide in Norway. On June 3, 2020, a huge landslide shook Alta, Norway. This whole disaster was caught on video by a man who noticed power lines being torn and the ground shifting, so he ran out and started filming. The landslide was caused by unstable quick clay that acts like liquid, sweeping away vacation homes, cabins, trees, and barns into the fjord. The landslide extended over 2,100 feet long on the shore and began almost 500 feet inland, making it Alta's largest ever. Luckily, no one was injured in this deadly landslide. The Great Miami Tornado. Tornadoes usually have a thing for open areas, but back in May 1997, a surprise F1 tornado decided to pay Miami a visit. The twister seemed to have second thoughts as it made its way through the downtown area, even bumping into a cruise ship and jumping over most of Biscayne Bay. It did manage to flip a car, but then disappeared as quickly as it arrived. Thankfully, the damage was minimal, but the sight of a tornado looming over skyscrapers made for quite a shocking headline. This event was a reminder that even the big city isn't completely safe from Mother Nature's wrath. An intriguing landslide. Wow, did you see that massive landslide? The house, or as the man in the video calls it, the holy place, was standing strong even as the ground beneath it slipped away. It was truly an incredible sight to see. It's unclear if anyone was hurt in the incident, but it seems likely that the area was evacuated beforehand. Unfortunately, the cars in the area were completely destroyed. Sierra Leone mudslides. In 2017, floods and mudslides in Sierra Leone's capital, Freetown, had been devastating. Over 300 lives were lost and nearly 600 people went missing. The cause of this tragedy was believed to be the collapse of part of Sugarloaf Mountain, which was triggered by 3 days of intense rainfall. It's heartbreaking to hear about the loss of so many lives, and our thoughts are with the families and loved ones of those affected. May their souls rest in peace. Himalayan landslides. Have you seen those montages of the Himalayas? They show just how wild and unpredictable those mountains can be. Recently, a whole section of the range came crashing down. Pretty scary stuff. A team's investigating what caused it, but let's be honest, it's probably our fault. We humans just can't seem to leave nature alone. It's a shame, but unfortunately, we're likely to see more incidents like this in the future. Manali, India. This video from Manali, India shows a massive piece of mountain just collapsed. Apparently, it was due to some heavy rainfall that happened a few days ago. As a result, the landslide destroyed a lot of farmland and even blocked a highway. It's really unfortunate to see the impact it had on the local people. The video really shows just how big of a landslide it was. Taiwan earthquake. In 2018, Taiwan experienced a devastating earthquake with a magnitude of 6.2. The impact was severe, with numerous buildings leaning almost near total collapse, leaving the authorities confused as to what to do about them. The quake also caused roads to split in half, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. Sadly, the disaster left many families without basic necessities such as water and electricity. Reports indicate that over 40,000 homes were left without water and 2,000 others without power. The most heartbreaking of all, however, was the loss of lives. An avalanche. The video shows an avalanche in the Tian Shan Mountains in Kyrgyzstan, captured by a group of foreigners. It starts with the sound of deep ice cracking and then shows snow cascading down a mountain slope towards the camera. The person filming was on a cliff edge and had little time to react, but managed to find shelter behind a rock. Although the person was only covered in light powder and wasn't injured, other members of the group sustained injuries. The group was relieved to have survived and only later realized how lucky they had actually been. Rock falls. This video shows large rocks covered in mud and water sliding down the mountain at an astonishing rate. You can see people standing on the side, recording the event and watching in amazement. The intensity of the phenomenon is hard to imagine, with the massive rocks literally rolling over each other, lubricated by the slippery mud and driven by the unstable force of gravity. This is why we see people just staying there, oblivious to the dangers the landslide brings with itself. The subscriber pick. This image is from a deadly landslide that happened in Germany. A destroyed building, half a pair of attached houses, slipped down about 100 yards to a nearby lake where they were all covered under mud and water. Several people went missing and others were injured. It was said to be one of the most deadly landslides to ever happen in Germany. A hailstorm. The video captures an intense storm outside of a woman's house. The storm includes nonstop lightning, rain, wind, and hail the size of a golf ball. The woman and her family were amazed by the intensity of the storm and watched in awe as the hail hit their living room window. Despite her husband's suggestion they head downstairs, they all stood there watching the swirling storm. I don't know about you, but I'm calling that window company next time I need windows installed in my home. Columbia mudslide. This happened in 2012 in Johnson's, British Columbia. At first, it's just two people trying to get away from the land in their boat, but when a few seconds pass, that's when reality kicks in and we see all that mud come sliding downwards, destroying everything which comes in its way. Mud, trees, and other debris begin rushing towards the spot where some men were standing a few minutes back. Fortunately, most of the people made it out of the area safely, but 3 couldn't. Louisiana sinkhole. Assumption Parish in southern Louisiana is plagued by a sinkhole problem known as the Bayou Corn Sinkhole, which first emerged in 2012 and forced 350 residents to evacuate their homes. The sinkhole was caused by a collapsed salt mine which had been expanding despite unsatisfactory safety test results. In 2013, a team sent to investigate the sinkhole witnessed trees being swallowed by the sinkhole in a matter of seconds. The sinkhole has now grown to encompass 34 acres and is believed to still be expanding today. Rock slide in Geiranger. Some high school students were on a mountain trip, and that's when they happened to experience this deadly disaster. It happened in Geiranger Fjord in Norway, and where rock slides are usual there, they can still be pretty deadly when the time comes. Huge rocks can be seen rolling down along with all that mud falling into the water. Fortunately, the rocks were smaller, or the impact on the water would have been bigger and the results deadly. Skier triggers avalanche. Sometimes even the pro players experience that come to Jesus moment, and this is exactly what happened here. In the video, we see Sage Catabrija Alosa, a seasoned skier, enjoying his day on a beautiful Alaskan mountain. As he makes his way down the slope, he suddenly triggers an avalanche, which quickly gains momentum and threatens to sweep him away. Despite the terrifying situation, Sage manages to keep his cool and expertly navigates through the avalanche, barely escaping with his life. Colorado tornado. Did you know that winds as strong as 70 miles per hour can knock you off your feet? Crazy, right? And if that's not enough, imagine winds reaching up to 90 miles per hour, ripping the shingles off your roof. Well, hold on tight, because on May 7th, 2016, the residents and storm chasers in Ray, Colorado experienced a tornado with wind speeds of up to 130 miles per hour. It was a powerful and unforgettable sight. In just 5 minutes, a man captured the magic of the moment and got up close and personal with one of the biggest and most photogenic tornadoes in recent history. Pretty amazing, huh? Fire tornado. Ever heard of a fire tornado? Well, it's a rare phenomenon that occurs when intense heat and strong winds combine to create a spinning vortex of flames. When it happened in California, it left the people not just worried, but also perplexed, as they'd never seen anything like that before. The fire plume that reached 40,000 feet into the sky hovered over Redding, California, as if bent on swallowing up the atmosphere. It was swirling around like a flaming funnel cloud, rotating as it swept across Shasta County, accelerating as the wind whipped the landscape. Pakistan flood. So Pakistan had a really rough summer of 2022. The temperatures were off the charts, and glaciers in the northeast started melting. To make things worse, the south faced back-to-back heat waves. On top of that, the rainfall went way overboard and caused floods and heavy monsoons that affected a whopping 33 million people and resulted in damages worth $40 billion. It's just heart-wrenching to see the footage and photos coming out of Pakistan. They lost almost 1 million livestock animals, 7,900 miles of road, and 374 bridges. The 2022 Pakistan floods are turning out to be one of the worst disasters in modern history. A river of rocks. So you know how when you're in a hilly area, it's not uncommon to experience some landslides and earthquakes every now and then? Well, check out this video and how a bunch of water, mud, and big old rocks came tumbling down the mountain, creating this insane river of rocks. It was definitely a sight to see, and people were enjoying it. California wildfires. In late 2017, California experienced some of the worst wildfires on record. These devastating fires destroyed nearly 10,000 structures and tragically claimed the lives of 47 people. Brave first responders captured stunning footage of the raging infernos as they battled to put out the flames. However, some of the most unforgettable and frightening footage came from a driver on Interstate 405. As the fire blazed through the Bel Air area, the hillside appeared to be one giant glowing coal, resembling a scene straight out of hell. This destructive fire burned through a staggering 422 acres before it was finally contained. Mount Ontake eruption. When we think of volcanoes, our minds often conjure up images of fiery eruptions and rivers of molten lava cascading down slopes. But did you know that a mixture of hot gases and volcanic debris can be even deadlier? These flows can race downhill at speeds up to 62 miles an hour and sometimes even faster. In September 2014, hikers were climbing Mount Otake on the Japanese island of Honshu when a sudden explosion of steam and ash erupted from the summit. The ensuing pyroclastic flow claimed the lives of 63 people, while a hiker managed to capture the terrifying moment on camera as he scrambled for safety. Everest avalanche. The April 2015 Gorkha earthquake was a devastating tragedy that shook Nepal to its core. Videos from the affected areas showed ancient temples and homes crumble to the ground, leaving almost 9,000 people dead. Even the mighty mountains felt the quake as an avalanche descended from the peak of Pamuri near Everest. Hikers at the South Base Camp were the first to feel the tremors before a powerful blast of snow engulfed them. In the aftermath, survivors were left to sift through the ruins of their lives, with at least 19 people losing their lives in the avalanche. Mount St. Helens. Back in 1980, there was a slow and magnificent buildup of Washington State's notorious stratovolcano. The volcano was aglow with a spectacular flame, while lightning sparked through ash clouds generated by static electricity. The ground shook and steam hissed from the summit, setting the scene for the catastrophic morning of May 18th. In a split second, a north flank of the mountain slid away, triggering a colossal VEI-5 eruption that claimed over 50 lives. The entire mountainside seemed to disintegrate and pour away like a liquid, creating the largest landslide ever recorded and marking the most catastrophic eruption in American history. Monstrous whirlpool. This crazy whirlpool was recorded in Deveti, Latvia. It's been causing quite a stir lately. This powerful whirlpool seems to be like a giant vacuum cleaner, pulling everything in its path towards it. Even giant chunks of ice and debris don't stand a chance against it. The discovery of this whirlpool was made by Janice Astix, a resident of Deveti, who was stunned by the sheer power of this natural phenomenon. It's almost as if a plug has been pulled from the ground beneath, creating a vortex that's impossible to resist. Swiss town mudslide. Back in August 2018, this crazy mudslide hit the village of Grenier like a bat out of hell. Heavy rainstorms had caused a whole lot of mud and debris to come crashing on the poor town, leaving everything covered in ash. Luckily, nobody got hurt. But I bet cleaning up that mess was a real nightmare. The whole thing was so insane that even foreigners came to watch it all go down. And get this, it even put Grenier on the map for more than just its food. A dust devil. In Shizaphon, a man recorded this big sandstorm. A man can be seen running towards it for God knows what reason. The sandstorm was a little far from where the people were, but the man was all in to get into the sandstorm. He went too close to it, however stopped and returned before he got engulfed into that huge dust devil. Nature isn't something we should try to have fun with, because there's a big chance that we might be left with nothing but regret later. A massive tornado. Wow, can you believe that even 10 years later we're still talking about one of the most intense tornadoes ever captured on camera? The footage from the drone is just jaw-dropping as it shows the tornado completely tearing apart homes and farms. Nothing could withstand its power. It just ripped through everything in its path. Even the cows were caught up in the chaos. Japan earthquake. This video was recorded in Japan in 2011 during a 9.1 magnitude earthquake. And call this video one of a kind, and we totally agree. Because instead of freaking out like any normal human being would do, this man recorded the earth literally tearing apart. He was so calm throughout the earthquake's occurrence and recorded everything that he could. Literally the best walkthrough of an earthquake while it's happening. China landslide. So there was a massive landslide in China that caused a lot of destruction and loss of life. Sadly, 73 people lost their lives, and 4 people are still missing. It's really heartbreaking. The landslide hit an industrial park, burying both industrial buildings and worker living quarters under mud and debris. It's one of the deadliest landslides in history, and it's just devastating. More than 30 buildings were completely destroyed, leaving behind nothing but chaos. Reports indicate that the landslide may have been caused by waste material that was piled up from construction work. It's hard to imagine the pain and suffering that the families of those affected must be going through right now.
Leaving Earth. It's rare to confront a moving and cracking Earth when you've poured all your trust on your third eye. The ground shaking during the Palu Central Sulawesi earthquake was caused by liquefaction. Liquefaction occurs when saturated soil is shaken up by an earthquake, causing the soil particles to lose strength and cohesion, resulting in a fluid-like consistency. This is something to show you that nature can be destructive and mighty, and you should be prepared for her outbursts. Fire Devil. A firenado is an intense whirlwind of smoke, ash, and debris created by a bushfire. It is created when high temperatures and strong winds combine to create an intense vortex of air. In Australia, conditions of extreme drought and heat combined with windy weather make this phenomenon much more likely. Lightning tree. Struck by lightning and not a limb on the ground or even split? Well, we can ignore the imploding part, given that the whole tree is literally on fire after the strike. When a lightning bolt strikes a tree, the sappy interior acts as a better conductor than the wood, heating the sappy interior to near boiling temperatures. This internal pressure can lead the tree to erupt or burn from the inside. Darvaza Gas Crater. To fill you with surprise, the door to hell is a large natural gas field burning continuously for nearly 50 years. The crater was formed in 1971 when a Soviet drilling rig accidentally tapped into a massive underground natural gas cavern. The ground beneath the rig collapsed and the cavern became a crater of fire. To prevent the spread, geologists decided to set the crater on fire and keep it burning until all the gas had been burned off. Mud Dome. Mud volcanoes are usually found in the areas of active tectonic activities. Mud volcanoes are caused by the movement of a mixture of mud and natural gas, which is released as a form of volcanic activity. The mud found in these volcanoes is a combination of clay, silt, and other deposits. Flying tumbleweeds. Here you can see plenty of tumbleweeds are making their way to the streets from wherever they were from. Tumbleweeds are a rolling mass of dry vegetation. When a dust devil strikes the road, cars can become surrounded by a swirling crowd of tumbleweeds that can block the vision of drivers and can also become lodged in their cars' grills. Frog Pool. This clip contains the strange occurrence of a large number of tiny baby frogs hopping on the ground near a pond. This could have occurred due to a variety of causes, such as a sudden increase in local temperature or an influx of rainwater into the pond. It is also possible that the frogs were released from captivity by someone. Rotating ice circle. This clip was filmed by a drone in 2018 while tourists were enjoying their trip in Shenyang City of northeast China's Liaoning province. The center of attention was the anti-clockwise rotating ice circle along the frozen river. Now, there's no mystery behind this. Experts say that the accelerated river flow triggers the rotational force, which cuts the ice free, causing it to rotate at a snail's pace. Oh, and as for the perfectly round shape, that is formed simply out of friction. Zombie cicadas. Zombie cicadas were not like this before they got infected with a parasitic fungus, Masasopra. The fungus causes the cicadas to behave like zombies, such as losing their wings and legs and twitching. The fungus also causes the cicadas to produce a substance called spore dust, which is spread to others when they come into contact with infected cicadas. Snake rope. Children laugh gleefully as they jump and skip over a dried, lifeless snake. The snake's limp body stretches out beneath their feet as they jump, its scales dragging across the ground, a far cry from the vibrant, alive creature it once was. There is an undeniable sense of wrongness in the air, a feeling of unease that hangs heavy in the air as the children play. Mysterious leaf. The leaf appears to be floating peacefully, suspended in air and moving with the wind. It has an almost ethereal quality, suggesting an otherworldly origin. The floating leaf in the air could be caused by a gust of wind, a small updraft, static electricity, or even a magic spell. It's an intriguing sight that captures the imagination and leaves viewers wondering what could be the cause. Escaped deer. When a deer is attacked by hyena, it may adopt an act of playing dead, also known as fright effect. This reflexive behavior is an adaptive response intended to startle or confuse the predator in order to give the deer a chance to escape. The deer will freeze and become very still, and after a few seconds, the deer will usually take off and flee. Jumping hare. A hare leaping into air to escape a swooping eagle is an astonishing sight. The graceful yet powerful motion of the hare's jump propels them upwards, away from the sharp talons of the eagle. The hare's agility and speed are a stunning example of nature's ability to create the perfect escape. Reverse waterfall. The stunning reverse waterfall is caused by the tide of the ocean. The tide creates an upward flow of water near the shore, which pushes the water up and over the rocky edge of the shoreline, resulting in an impressive waterfall in reverse. The force of the tide can vary depending on the time of day, so the waterfall can range from a light trickle to a powerful roar. Tsunami downpour. The sight of a seemingly endless wall of seawater cascading down from the heavens would be awe-inspiring and terrifying. The sheer power and energy of the wave as it crashes into the ground would be enough to take your breath away. The sight of the sky and sea merging together in a spectacular show of power would be a sight that you would never forget. Smart kitty. The unbelievable sight of a cat using a water dispenser was one of sheer amazement. The cat gracefully held the lever down and drank from the stream of water with surprising dexterity. It is standing on its hind legs, quenching its thirst in a most unexpected manner. It was a heartwarming moment to witness, a testament to the unique capabilities of our feline friends. Companion flight. A rarely seen sight is that of a bird flying while carrying another bird on its back. This sight is unique in its beauty, showcasing the strength of the bird as it effortlessly carries its companion through the sky. The bird appears to be in perfect unison as they soar in harmony, creating a breathtaking moment that is awe-inspiring to behold. Devil's Woodyard Mud Volcano is located in the East Demerara region of Guyana. The cause of the eruption is due to an increase in pressure within the subsurface due to the presence of oil and gas deposits. It triggered the collapse of sprawling trees, which superstitious villagers believed that the tree destruction was caused by the devil himself, which thus led to its name, the Devil's Woodyard. Enormous hailstone. Don't you think it's an inconceivable sight to watch giant rocks raining down along the hailstones during a storm? Not leaving everything in the hands of mystery, the cause of this could be a phenomenon known as wet microbursts, which form during heavy rain and can carry debris upwards in a powerful wind. Depression in the ground. Beware of leaving your car unattended, because the earth can engulf it. Instantaneously occurred sinkholes, referred to as subsidence holes or drowning holes, form the hole in the ground by collapse of the surface layer. Sinkholes can form due to a variety of causes, including the collapse of underground mine shafts, sewage and drain pipe collapses, or just simple water erosion. Foam blanket. Is this snow or some foaming gel that somebody poured into the river? Toxic foam blankets can form on Indian River beaches when industrial pollutants mix with water. So you guys were right at guessing it as an outcome of foaming gel. The thick, foamy substance created by pollutants such as detergents, oil, and chemicals can be hazardous for marine life. Volcanic eruption. Mankind has often been left speechless by both benevolence and wrath of nature. Japan is home to numerous active volcanoes, including Mount Sakurajima, which erupted and sent volcanic ashes into the air. Volcanic ash is fine-grained material, which is not the product of combustion, but rather it is extremely abrasive and mildly corrosive. Glowing Wonderland. How would you feel if you ever came across a glimmering forest? Bioluminescent forests are natural wonders that occur when certain types of dinoflagellates, algae, and bacteria emit light. The light produced is a soft blue-green glow, creating a magical and surreal atmosphere. The glowing effect is most visible at night, when the darkness amplifies the luminescent effect. Volcanic bomb. Right when you thought volcanoes couldn't get any more dangerous, the formation of lava bombs is an outturn of violent throwing of hot and fluid lava into the air during an energetic eruption. When the lava lands, it cools and hardens quickly, forming a splatter that can range from pebble size to several meters in diameter. Sleeping with snow blanket. Caribou have short and stocky bodies designed to conserve heat. They possess winter coats on their bodies, protecting them from the chilly and bitter cold of winter. 2 of the caribou were sleeping in snow and completely covered by it. When the hunter was passing by, one of the caribou woke up and ran away with snow still on its body, and the other had to be woken up from its slumber. Come on, wake up! It's time for the morning exercise! Lost trunk. Trunkless elephants are a rare condition in which a young elephant is born without a trunk. The cause could typically be genetic mutation. Without a trunk, they cannot feed themselves, as they cannot reach up to high branches and down to drink water, nor can they defend themselves against predators. Ultimately, they have less chances of survival. Condor versus bull. Can a condor overpower a bull? The condor and bull fighting ritual is an ancient tradition in South American culture. It involves a condor to challenge the bull, and the two will battle until the one is victorious. While the condor is not typically able to kill the bull, it is said to be a powerful symbol of strength that brings good luck to those who witness the ritual. Half-bitten fish. A war survivor. The fish's ability to continue swimming and still appear healthy, even with a large portion missing from its body. This could be caused by a number of things, including a predator that took a bite out of the fish and then released it, a fishing line or hook that got snagged on the fish, or a possible parasitic infection. Floaty bird. Birds floating in the air due to a combination of factors. The lightweight body, hollow bones, and feathers help the bird to remain buoyant in the air. Finally, the bird uses its tail and feet to make adjustments and move in the direction it wants to go. All of these factors combined enable the bird to float in the air for extended periods of time. Human face tree. Tree looks like a human face. Now that's a rare phenomenon caused by a combination of natural weathering, climate, and erosion, or by a deliberate artistic carving. The formation of a face-like structure can also be caused by lightning strike, which may cause the bark and limbs to be sculpted in such a way that it resembles a face. Mosquitoes tornado. Mosquito tornadoes occur when a large number of mosquitoes are caught up in a rapidly spinning column of air, forming a tornado-like structure. They are caused by a combination of air currents, warm temperatures, and high levels of humidity. They can block out the sun when the mosquitoes form a dense enough cloud of insects. Moose running on water. It's not every day that you get to witness something bizarre. Of course, nothing prepares you for seeing something truly insane, like a moose running on water. Now, he's not really running on the water's surface like it might first appear. The reality was that the moose was running along in shallow water, but because it's so large and tall, it looks like he's traversing the water's surface. Uprooted tree. The massive ancient tree stands tall, having strong and sturdy branches. Its roots, however, have proved too strong for the ground beneath it, leaving a huge empty area where the soil has been ripped up and displaced. This tree is a testament to the power of nature, showing us that even the mightiest of trees can be uprooted by the most devastating of forces. Komodo with a turtle head. The Komodo dragon can be seen walking on a beach with a sizable turtle clamped in its jaws. While any appearance by the world's largest lizard is likely to draw some attention, while it's wearing its quarry like some sort of victory hat, now that's just viral video territory. This behavior is thought to be a way of disguising itself from predators. Puppy hugging goose. Although it's rare, but a puppy may be simply enjoying the moment of affection with the goose as a sign of friendship. The puppy's hug may show a sense of comfort and joy in being with the goose. It could also be seen as a sign of appreciation, as the puppy may be thanking the goose for the friendship they share. Dancing pig. A happy little pig is letting out joyful squeals as it hops and sways to the rhythm of its own music. Its curly tail and floppy ears bounce in time with the beat as it twirls and prances around, not missing a single step. The pig's smile is so contagious, it's impossible not to join in with the dancing fun. Cliff climbing bear. Bears are excellent climbers, though they are rarely seen climbing. Bears typically climb cliffs for the same reason that they climb trees, to access food sources. This could include nuts, berries, insects, and other tasty treats that are out of reach on the ground. Melted roads. Have you ever caught the sight of dissolving cars and roads? People out walking in the sweltering heat found that their feet started to stick to the ground, making it difficult to move as asphalt melts and weakens roadways. Even worse, the intense scorching heat caused cars to start melting and become unrecognizable. Well, the culprit is an intense heat wave, which is a prolonged period of unusually hot weather that can cause serious health and environmental problems. It seems like the ocean has decided to wipe out everything. That's really freakish. The thing running in my mind right now is, thank God my house is far away from the beaches. Otherwise, this clip was enough to steal all the peace of my mind. Still, I need to review my holiday plans. These clips belong to the Tohoku earthquake and tsunami that shook northeastern Japan on March 11th, 2011. The disaster began when a magnitude 9 earthquake shook the region, unleashing a savage tsunami. The effects of this earthquake were felt around the world, from Norway's fjords to Antarctica's ice sheet. Tsunami debris has continued to wash up on North American beaches years later. Wow, they've got a free car wash by the ocean. However, they still need to wash them again, because free services are often subpar. Some people might still be confused if it was a car wash or a mud splash. What do you guys think about that? Tell us in the comments below. It made me feel much better when I came to know that this flipping boat was unmanned. Otherwise, it would have been a disaster. Some people say that it was dragged by the waves from shore, and some claim that all of its passengers managed to evacuate before it flipped upside down. But anyway, thankfully no damage was done there. Imagine having a beautiful sea view from your balcony, and then this happens. What will be your first action after watching this? If you talk about me, I would definitely prefer to evacuate myself from there immediately. Yeah, it saves money on hiring a window cleaner, but now they need a new railing. This CCTV footage shows the road shaking ominously, followed by a blast and a shower of sludge. It was on a quiet Monday afternoon. The ground beneath a street in the Ukrainian capital Kyiv trembled, perhaps as a sign of things to come. Before anyone could make sense of what was happening, an underground water pipe dramatically burst. Wow, what a great place to live. Just wake up early in the morning to see beautiful scenery of the sunrise, and then just turn off the window cover and watch the waves playing in the sea. Nah, because in this situation, it's truly freaky. So if you get seasick easily, then this place is not the right place for you. This man was clinging to the roof of his car that was immersed and swept away by the torrential floodwater, and was rescued by emergency crews in the north of Jerusalem. As the man clung to the roof of his car, a rescue team and a rubber raft raced to the scene and extracted him using ropes. Excellent teamwork, intelligent minds, and the luck of this man collectively gave him a second life. He was fishing in a small stream when a huge amount of floodwater stranded him in it. It was looking really difficult, but somehow rescuers managed to evacuate him through a zip line. Just imagine the force and energy this bridge is facing. Undoubtedly, the bridge is really powerful. Otherwise, it would have been wiped out. This wall of water was hitting Newlyn Bridge during the St. Valentine's Day storm, when huge waves caused flooding in Newlyn on February 14, 2014. For a moment, the car driver must have remained stunned, but then his reflexes worked and he reversed his car. This happened in Turkey when an underground water pipe burst again, just after a couple of hours after its first repair. Luckily, no one was harmed, but anyway, residents of that area had to face problems in their water supply. Which ride could be more hair-raising than this? It happened on November 8, 2017, when Rodrigo Coxa surfed a monster wave off the coast of Nazaré, Portugal, that was officially measured at 80 feet in height, or 24.38 meters. The 38-year-old Brazilian is now the official Guinness World Record holder for the largest wave surfed. This was a rogue wave that occurred in the North Sea off the coast of Norway on January 1, 1995. It measured about 84 feet in height, which is unusually large for the area. The wave was recorded by a platform-mounted instrument, making it the first scientifically documented rogue wave. Square waves are the most mysterious kind of waves in the ocean. Many people do not believe in its existence, but it is a reality. They are the result of two ocean swells colliding perpendicular to one another, and this cross-sea wave collision results in powerful rip currents and incredibly unpredictable waves, making them extremely dangerous. Yeah, he captured some amazing footage, but undoubtedly, he was at the wrong place at the wrong time. Don't worry, he managed to evacuate himself safely from that spot. This happened due to a volcanic eruption that caused tsunami-like waves in the sea. Although this man might never go to that area again, I'm quite sure that's the most memorable moment of his whole life. This massive tsunami struck several counties bordering the Indian Ocean on December 26, 2004. Following a 9.1 magnitude earthquake off the coast of Sumatra. The tsunami caused widespread destruction and claimed over 230,000 lives. It has been counted in one of the worst tsunamis in the world's history. The Hidroituango Dam on the River Cauca was in the final stages of construction when 3 landslides blocked the tunnel, leading the reservoir to fill, which caused flooding downstream. That swept through a riverside hamlet. 600 people were left homeless, and 2 bridges, 2 schools, and a health center were destroyed. Never turn your back towards the ocean if you are in Hawaii. It could result in this brutal sweep out. Due to the high pressure of wind on Hawaii's beaches, visitors often face similar waves there. And believe me, that's the best case scenario that we've shown you. Whenever the ocean shows such distress, it means that it's not a good day for a beach walk, which can turn into a deep swim. And most probably, that would be your last swimming if you're not a good swimmer. So, never try to mess with the ocean when it's super excited like that. Don't you just love that feeling when a huge set rolls in? It's a magical mix of fear and adrenaline paddling for the horizon. But still, I don't really want to mess with these huge waves. I hope they've taken the proper safety measures. I can't imagine the tumble spin mode this dude must have experienced. This clip is from De Huopo, a village on the southwestern coast of the island of Tahiti. French Polynesia, widely known for its surf break and heavy, glassy waves offshore, often reaching 2 to 3 meters, and sometimes even up to 7 meters, which is insane. I hope this guy made it out alive. Located in Kerala, India, this place is one of the most magnificent tourist spots to visit. But imagine having been there in person right before this monstrous water show during the monsoon. Yeah, enough to give you chills, especially if you have a water phobia. But for now, it's so beautiful that everybody's capturing nature beyond expectations. The video holds both beauty and fear at the same time. And that's the beauty of nature. In a chain of unprecedented storms, giant waves of more than 10 meters reached the beach of Gijón and the rest of the Cantabrian coast in 2014. Although it was not so deadly, still it left streets near the beach flooded. See the fury of the ocean. It looked more than just a regular storm. Surf's up on the North Sea, and as this video shows, the waves can be big enough to rough up even a large offshore drilling rig. Filmed by an offshore worker on the nearby platform, around 145 miles east of Aberdeen, Scotland, this footage captures the stomach-churning awe of large waves crashing into a rig owned by Dolphin Drilling. This is the shocking moment. A tourist bus is tossed around like a toy after being swept away by floodwaters. This empty bus was washed away by raging waters of Beas River in northern India, following heavy rain and flash flooding. The end of this blue coach can be seen hanging off a muddy ridge as it precariously dangles in the water. Dozens of people were injured when a wave pool in China malfunctioned, triggering a tsunami-like wave. Visitors to a water park in northern China who were in the wave pool were suddenly smashed by the giant wave. According to reports, 44 people were injured in this incident, but thankfully, all of them only received minor injuries. This footage shows a controlled release of floodwater at a dam, with dozens of people watching the water jetting out. Taiwanese authorities released floodwaters at Taoyuan City's Ximen Dam after Typhoon Dushuan hit the country. Although this was a controlled and planned release of water, it's still very creepy. In September 2021, Hurricane Ida swept New York City. During the storm, the city issued a travel ban. Trains stopped in their tracks, leaving commuters completely stranded in the trains until rescue crews could get people out. On some tracks, outside the trains, water levels rose up to their windows. Luckily, everyone who was stuck in transit survived the storm safely. When Melbourne's water office received a complaint about water leakage, they weren't expecting this at all. A fountain 80 meters up into the sky, equivalent to a 13-story building. It is believed that a faulty air valve ruptured, releasing 2 million liters or 500,000 gallons of water. It took the water company an hour to stop the flow. It took a few seconds for people to understand what happened, and when they realized, well, it was a quick run for life. It was really unexpected. Thankfully, the ship's crew was really efficient, so they managed the whole matter without any further destruction. It's crazy how instead of freaking out and running away, the woman stayed right there in the first place. Ocean was in high tide, so the second wave was much bigger than the first. As a result, the woman fell down on the rocky beach. Luckily, she remained safe from any serious injury, but from now on, she will surely take care of her distance from the ocean. Just think about the person who was surfing in such scary tsunami waves. This video was captured in a tsunami that struck the coast of Chile on February 27, 2010, following a massive 8.8 magnitude earthquake. This tsunami caused widespread destruction and claimed hundreds of lives. It is called one of the deadliest tsunamis in world history. This was a storm surge that occurred on December 5th through 6th, 2013, affecting coastal areas in the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, and Germany. It was caused by a combination of strong winds and high tides, and resulted in severe flooding and damage to coastal infrastructure. This video was shot minutes before the main high tide. What a horrible venue for a swimming pool this is on a Mexican beach. Sea waves are just touching its banks. However, on normal days, it is far from the sea, but these high tidal waves make it closer, and now it looks like sooner or later, some monster wave will turn over the plates. This is a rare close-up shot of the sea whirlpool, the rotary oceanic current. It is a large-scale eddy that is produced by the interaction of rising and falling tides. Similar currents that exhibit a central downdraft are termed vortexes and occur where coastal and bottom configurations provide narrow passages of considerable depth. Tiger Leaping Gorge is a part of the 3 parallel of UNEP. It is the world's deepest gorge, with a drop of 3,900 meters from the mountain peak to the riverbed. According to the tale, a hunter chased the tiger through the gorge until the tiger found itself trapped and, left with no choice, leapt the 25-meter gap across the gorge, therefore naming it as such. In 2018, a terrifying tsunami destroyed the beach cities of Indonesia, and this was the starting point of that giant wave. This incredible but freaky video was filmed just seconds before the real big show. Even cars and coastal huts could not resist it, and were quickly wiped out. Swell, lift up, and then stroll down. This insane peak wave clearly seems like the ocean has tried to punch someone. But nope, that's not a punch at all. That's just a skill shown by the ocean. How magnificent is that? Surfers love this mode of sea because these kinds of waves give surfers some extra kinetic energy. It was surely not a good day for this veteran surfer. Salvador Villas-Boas, when he was riding one of the biggest waves of the day off Nazaré. A bump knocked him off into the water near some rocks. As the second wave closes in on the stranded surfer, professional jet ski rescuer Ramon Laureano saves Villas-Boas by dragging him out of harm's way. This is the aftermath of the storm Kira. It was a powerful and long-lived extratropical cyclone that was the first of a pair of European windstorms to affect the United Kingdom and Ireland at peak intensity, less than a week apart in early 2020, followed by Storm Dennis a week later. This guy was literally destroyed at this beach of Nazaré in Portugal. This is also a lesson for those who thought surfing is an easy job. After hardly surviving several waves, he was totally losing himself when help finally arrived. That jet ski rescuer did an awesome job. This is for what Nazaré Beach is famous for. A torrent of water, mud, and debris flooded the Adapur region of Laos, destroying lives, infrastructure, and farmland. It happened when the auxiliary Saddle Dam D, which was part of a larger hydroelectric dam system under construction in southeast Laos, collapsed on July 23, 2013. Thousands were left displaced and homeless by this disaster. The Brumadinho Dam disaster occurred on January 25, 2019. when a tailings dam at the Corrego de Feijão iron ore mine in Brazil suffered a catastrophic failure. The disaster killed 270 people and left many people homeless. According to reports, steep upstream construction, high water levels, weak fine tailings, and the brittle nature of the tailings created the conditions for this failure.
From massive dust storms that turn day into night, to the destructive power of tsunamis and the fury of tornadoes. Prepare to be awestruck and grateful for your own safety as we embark on a thrilling journey through some of the scariest nature moments caught on camera. When thunderstorms hit, they don't discriminate. They'll blow you away just like everyone else. It's a reminder that we're all at the mercy of Mother Nature's whims. And this poor guy, well, let's just say he's not going home tonight. Roof blowing? Yep, you heard that right. This city didn't just experience mind-blowing weather, it experienced roof-blowing weather. You can't make this stuff up. Hold on tight to your hats and prepare to be blown away by the sheer force of nature. New Orleans brought the real action with a wall of water during Hurricane Ida. No CGI here, folks. Just like Mother Nature showing off her impressive waterworks. They say it's the calm before the storm, but boy did they get it wrong. In just 5 minutes, a peaceful coastline turned into a giant whirlpool straight out of a mythical tale. Beware, folks, we might be summoning a kraken any minute now. Super Typhoon Dawan, also known as Typhoon Jenny, brought its powerful winds to the Yami Islands and Taiwan in 2015. With its second place ranking among the strongest tropical cyclones, it left a trail of destruction and injuries in its wake. Taiwan felt the brunt of the storm, with power outages and water shortages affecting thousands. When a river overflows its banks, you know it's time to run for cover. This Venezuelan city learned that the hard way. Watch as the water engulfs everything in its path, showing just how serious the situation can be. Stay safe and stay away from swimming pools that weren't there before. When a tiny asteroid made a grand entrance in Russia's Chelyabinsk, it turned the sky into a spectacular show. It was like watching fireworks on steroids. The meteor's impact caused shockwaves that shattered windows and left 1,200 people nursing their bumps and bruises.
Нихуя себе, это что такое?
A blizzard hit Colorado with the force of a rampaging Yeti. It brought hurricane-like winds and dumped 1 to 3 feet of snow across the state. The poor folks stuck in their cars probably felt like they were part of a real-life snow globe. With flights canceled and cars spinning out of control, it was a wild winter wonderland. Indonesia got a surprise visit from a tsunami in 2018, courtesy of the Sunda Strait. It was like an unexpected water park adventure, but without the fun slides. Unfortunately, this wave didn't come with a warning, catching many off guard. But hey, they say you should always expect the unexpected, right? Mount Merapi in Indonesia showed off its explosive personality in 2010 with eruptions that reached a volcanic explosivity index of 4. It put on quite a fiery display. Ash, pyroclastic flows, and even sulfur dioxide made an appearance. Mother Nature really knows how to make her presence felt. But let's not forget volcanoes are just Earth's way of letting off a little steam. Literally! Back in June 2021, heavy rainfall in China turned the country into a water park, and poor Nanping, a city in Fujian province, got hit hard. The Mayan Creek reached record levels, carrying all sorts of debris. It was like a beaver dam gone wild! And then, boom! The bridge snapped. Talk about a bridge that couldn't handle the pressure. But hey, at least no one tried to cross it, right? Move over, Hollywood! Italy's Mount Stromboli knows how to put on a show. This fiery volcano has its own island and a reputation as the Mediterranean's lighthouse. It's all thanks to its frequent nighttime eruptions that attract tourists from all corners of the globe. But in 2019, it decided to show off during the day too. A live webcam caught its magnificent eruption, and let me tell you, even the camera's microphone couldn't handle the big boom. Living in powerful storm Kangen, a town in central Java, Indonesia, comes with its fair share of excitement. On November 6, 2022, a local security guard named Bang Royce found himself caught in a mighty storm. His job was to protect the bank, but he couldn't do much against the relentless rain and wind. Thank goodness Bang had a great sense of humor, saying, "Thank you, Bang," as he stood his ground. The storm caused some damage, but at least nobody got hurt, except maybe a few trees and some unlucky car roofs. In Inner Mongolia's tornado silent hot, nature has a sense of humor. On June 24, 2020, the residents witnessed a massive tornado stretching down from the sky. It curved like a ghost's wispy tail, showing off its classic tornado color and shape. But this twister had a mischievous side. It didn't cause any injuries or much damage. It just wanted to leave its mark on the countryside before disappearing into thin air. When Typhoon Hatu hit Jiahu, a city in Guangdong Province, China in 2017, it meant business. With winds reaching a whopping 90 miles per hour, it sent water rushing into the streets and turned everything upside down. The storm was so strong that it even blew cranes off skyscrapers and tipped over 18-wheelers like Tonka trucks. This is what happened in Brazil when a massive dust storm engulfed the city of Sao Paulo. The apocalyptic scene looked like something out of a movie. Towering clouds of dust reach heights higher than the tallest buildings, leaving everyone in awe. Talk about nature's way of reminding us who's boss. Mount Semeru, the highest volcano on the Indonesian island of Java, knows how to make an entrance. With hundreds of eruptions under its belt, it's always ready to put on a show. In December 2021, it decided to up the ante with a massive explosion caused by a collapsed lava dome. The ash plume reached incredible heights, leaving the village below buried in ash. Who needs a roller coaster when you've got a windstorm canceling Christmas? That's right, folks. A strong gust of wind sent a 70-meter pine tree tumbling, turning holiday plans upside down. Looks like Santa had to find a new sleigh.
Pine tree.
When Typhoon Limpha hit Lufeng City, China in 2015, it brought some unexpected dance moves. People struggled to stay on their feet as loose objects went flying. But amidst the chaos, some locals found humor in fish swimming through sidewalk cracks and plastic stools taking flight. Yellowstone National Park experienced catastrophic flooding in June 2022. The heavy rain, combined with melting snow, created a watery mess. Roads, bridges, and even houses were washed away. One unlucky family watched their home float downstream, hitting everything in its path. Talk about a house on an unexpected adventure. It's safe to say, Yellowstone turned into a wild water park that day.
Here we go.
Look at that insulation.
Can't decide between a swimming pool or a car? Well, this lucky old man found the perfect compromise. A giant flooded street filled with water right outside his doorstep. Talk about making the best of a wet situation. Typhoon Vamco hit Camarines Norte, Philippines like a Category 2 storm in 2022. The winds roared at 80 miles per hour, causing chaos. But leave it to one adventurous family to record the storm's antics, including power lines getting ripped apart. This couple and their dog thought they were safe from the waves, but Mother Nature had other plans. It's a reminder that even the smallest wave can pack a mighty punch. Time to grab the beach towels and make a hasty retreat. Forget about krakens in the high seas, because Mother Nature has a surprise of her own, a tornado that transforms into a whirlpool. It's like a 2-for-1 deal of nature's most jaw-dropping spectacles. Two adventurous girls in Newcastle, Australia embrace the waves of sea foam with sheer excitement. It's like they've discovered a magical bubbly wonderland. Who needs a water park when you've got nature's foam party? Prepare to be mesmerized as we witness the raw power of the Pacific Ocean during a cyclone. It's like watching the ocean unleash its own symphony with crashing waves as the percussion. Nature's music at its finest. In 2012, Hurricane Sandy unleashed its fury on the Big Apple, leaving New Yorkers in awe of nature's power. It was like the city's version of the Great Wave off Kanawanga, but with fewer surfers and more flooded streets. The city's blue-collar heroes rallied together, showing their resilience in the face of adversity. Talk about a boat's lucky day. No one was on board when stormy waters showed off their might, causing waves that could rival any action movie scene. It's a reminder to always check the weather forecast before setting sail. Who knew earthquakes could make fish perform their own acrobatic show? Watch as these talented fish leap up out of the water in South China. It's like a fishy Olympics event you won't want to miss. Flash floods may be rare in the desert, but when they do happen, they make sure to leave a lasting impression. Just ask this driver who found themselves in a race against a surging wall of water. Who knew deserts could transform into impromptu water parks? Ever wonder what it's like to be in the eye of a hurricane for hours? Brace yourself, because we've got a first-hand account of Hurricane Ian that will leave you speechless. Locals hadn't seen anything like this in decades. And trust me, watching it is a wilder ride than trying to outrun a landslide on a mountain road. Now, buckle up, because we're about to unveil the secret behind Hurricane Fiona's record-breaking bill. Canadians aren't strangers to storms, but this one took the cake. Get ready to witness a rare phenomenon, the Great Umbrella Migration, and the quickest beach evacuation ever. You won't believe your eyes. Sometimes hurricanes can bring unexpected perks, like free food delivery straight to your door. This lucky fella found out firsthand how a storm can turn into a meal plan. Storm chasing may sound exciting, but it can have its risks. In 2013, El Reno, Oklahoma, witnessed the widest tornado in history. Sadly, experienced storm chaser Tim Samaras and his team lost their lives while pursuing this monstrous twister. It served as a reminder that even the most seasoned storm chasers must prioritize safety. Move over, Tesla! The Indian version of a supercharger is here, and it's shockingly efficient. Lightning fast charging. No pun intended. Forget about snowball fights. These skiers in the south of France experienced the ultimate snow shower when an avalanche came crashing down. It's like being caught in a giant cloud of powdered sugar. Winter Wonderland, anyone? Imagine the sheer force of water needed to transform a gentle stream into a raging river of rocks. It's like nature's own epic rock concert. This guy never thought a downpour could wash away a whole car, but Mother Nature had a surprise in store for him. Watch as his ride gets swept away, leaving him speechless and probably considering a canoe for his next mode of transportation. And speaking of epic, tornadoes can reach speeds of up to 88 kilometers an hour. It's like a whirlwind dance party you definitely don't want to join. Get ready to witness how quickly a flood can transform your basement into an underwater wonderland. It's a race against the rising tide, and you'll be on the edge of your seat. Trust me, you'll never look at your basement the same way again. Can you believe this cop guiding cars to safety in freezing temperatures? -34 degrees Celsius? Frost meets your match. Talk about dedication to the job. This officer deserves a medal and a warm cup of cocoa. Ah, winter, the time when cars turn into icy fortresses. But have you ever wondered how things look on the inside? Brace yourself for the shocking truth as we uncover the ice age that took place in people's vehicles. If you've ever wondered why waterfront apartments on the first floor are cheaper, we've got the answer for you. It's because people were complaining about the poor weather outside. But little did they know, it was just the beginning of the stormy spectacle. Stay calm, stay human. That's the golden rule during a flood. But it'd be hard to stay sane in such a moment. Brace yourself for the jaw-dropping moment when a flood turns into a city street, into a fish-friendly waterway. Talk about an unexpected swimming lesson. An aircraft carrier caught in the middle of a storm with zero visibility? No problem for a brave jet pilot making a blind landing. Move over, Top Gun. We've got a real-life hero in the cockpit. Lightning never strikes the same spot 6 times, or does it? We've got the mind-boggling evidence that will make you rethink everything you thought you knew about lightning. Let's just say Mother Nature loves a good encore. Who knew duct tape wouldn't save your house during a hurricane? This poor guy thought he had it all figured out, but Mother Nature had other plans. Not even an iron door stood a chance. Watch how this hurricane flooded an entire house in the blink of an eye. Remember, folks, the only way to keep people safe near a reservoir is to release water during flood season. But imagine the sheer power if that dam were to breach. It's a thrilling thought that'll make your heart race faster than a roller coaster. This wind was so strong, it overturned a truck. But here's the plot twist. Despite the chaos, the driver's determined to stick to their route. Talk about commitment. It's crazy how the truck tilts completely. Forget about Instagram filters. This isn't Breaking Bad. It's a real city in the middle of a sandstorm. The sun disappears, the sand takes over, and suddenly you're in the upside down. Don't worry though, 11 isn't far behind. Oh, the things people will do to protect their territory. Watch as a security guard battles against a gale, standing firm like a superhero in the face of adversity. Talk about dedication to the job. Picture this, a concrete bridge toppled by a heat wave. A heat wave melted glaciers, causing a flood of epic proportions. You've seen storm chasers, but have you ever seen a storm chaser caught in the storm? This brave individual in Luxembourg got a front row seat to nature's spectacular show. Move over, Hollywood! We've got our own action hero. Picture this. You're on a peaceful weekend getaway, enjoying the scenery, when out of nowhere, a tornado swoops in like a whirlwind of chaos. That's exactly what happened to this family on Smith Island. Talk about a wild vacation story. Luckily, everyone was safe, but their plans for relaxation were blown away faster than you can say, "Tornado!"
Look at that!
When your car is fresh from the car wash, but Mother Nature has a different plan, cue the rain, the hail, and the sudden urge to reevaluate your life choices. Looks like the car wash missed a spot, or a few hundred spots. Witness the incredible work of these dynamic duos as they spread cheer and help their cities recover from the aftermath of a flood. They're the real MVPs, turning disaster into a reason to smile. Ever heard of the town of Andover in Kansas? No? Well, you will now, because they had a date with the creepiest tornado ever. I'm talking goosebumps on your arms kind of creepy.
You can hear it.
When a photographer set out a shoot, little did he know he'd be capturing the power of a raging hurricane up close. Mother Nature loves surprises, and she delivered a front row seat to this guy. Good thing no one got hurt, except maybe his hairdo in the gusty winds. Ever wondered what it's like to order rain delivery to your house? Well, this guy experienced it firsthand. Just look at that crazy tornado. Who needs Amazon Prime when you can have Mother Nature's express delivery service? Just make sure to bring an umbrella. Storms come and go, but this ancient tree in the heart of the city had weathered it all. Until Storm NS showed up, that is. Poor tree didn't stand a chance against the fury of Mother Nature.
Oh my god, I caught that on video!
By now, you should expect the unexpected. But in this Indonesian city, it's a different story. The rain arrived with such force that the city streets became flowing rivers. Looks like the game came to life. You thought sandstorms were no big deal? Well, think again. Paraguay got hit by a sandstorm so massive, it engulfed the entire city of Awalas. Who needs a desert safari when you can experience a sandstorm of epic proportions? Buckle up. You know, cranes are known for their strength and stability, but even they can't withstand the mighty force of a thunderstorm. Next time you see a crane during heavy rain, do yourself a favor and run like the wind, just not near the crane. Nature has a way of surprising us when we least expect it. Just ask the lucky guy who found kangaroos hopping in the snow in Australia during summer. Talk about an unexpected winter wonderland. If you thought your day couldn't get any worse, imagine buying your first car only to see it floating away in floodwaters. Talk about a sinking feeling. Looks like Mother Nature has a twisted sense of humor. Floods can wash away motorcycles and cars, but have you ever seen an entire train disappear? Well, now you have. New Zealand experienced some wild weather, leaving everyone scratching their heads and wondering where all the trains went.